Hello, my name is Martyr, and this is the Indie Game of the Week, Bardbarian, and thank you for watching. Bardbarian is an action RPG, guys, with almost a little bit of a resource management and strategy thrown in there. It released April 2014, and it was developed and published by Tree Fortress Games. You can go ahead and pick up Bardbarian right now on Steam for $6.99. It's also available in a myriad of other systems like the iOS and the Android, and you can go ahead and pick those up there. Now, I, of course, have played some D&D, guys. Surprise, surprise, I'm a geek. In D&D, I played a character called George the Barbarian. It was actually a character my dad made, and I kind of took up the mantle, but I kind of always wondered what George thought. What if he had like a change of heart, wanted to be something else, be something better with his life, or like a cleric or a mage even. Yeah, he was dumb as bricks, but maybe he could pull it off. Well, somebody else at Tree Fortress thought the exact same thing as I did and made this amazing game. In Bardbarian, you play Brad. And, well, we're going to go ahead and we'll hit play. And there's kind of like an intro that'll give you an idea of what is going on in the storyline. It's kind of hilarious to watch. So we're going to go ahead and start off with that first and foremost. We'll get into all what this is in a couple of minutes, guys. There's a lot to see here. The game is jam-packed, full of features. I guess I have to choose my party to watch the intro. Is that right? Is that right? Is what it's doing right here? Yes, I guess. Brad, our hero and local barbarian for hire, sleeps soundly. However, evil cares not for his sleep patterns. Yet again, Brad is called upon to protect the town's prized decorative crystal. Any normal day, Brad would care. But today, Brad doesn't give a shit. He doesn't, basically. Peeing, splooshy sploosh, drippy drip. And man, he's peeing a lot into that bucket. Tired of grinding XP, saving useless NPCs, and living only to destroy, he uses some previously misplaced crafting skills and fashions a lute out of an old war axe. Armed with his new gear, he steps outside and shreds his loot. Alright, so Brad the Barbarian here, basically, his ability is to generate magical notes, which he then uses to summon, well, minions, I guess you could say, allies to help him, which is what I'm doing right there, is summoning a bunch of allies. On the bottom of the screen, you can see my allies. They're all down there. I kind of run a caster setup. On the top of the screen, it's kind of like a map, and it kind of shows you that there's three different lanes that the enemies come down from. You can see the three different lanes right here. And they kind of come down the lane and are trying to head towards the crystal and destroy it. And your job is to simply prevent them from doing so. You also, on the bottom of the screen, have in the middle here this stunning ability, which annihilates all projectiles and stuns the enemy for about, I would say, 3 seconds or so. I'm not really sure how long it lasts. To the right of that, you have these buffs, which Brad again uses with magical notes. Each of them costs 10, 10, 10. And you can also see how much things cost for the musical notes wise on the top right there. And these ones basically kind of boost your damage. This one boosts your speed. This one boosts your defense. And your job is to face about 20 waves with 4 bosses included, 1 boss per 5 waves, I'm sorry. And kind of survive and protect the town as long as you can while collecting a myriad of gold and collecting upgrades and, of course, well, jamming out on your loot. If you stay still, if you look at Brad, he starts kind of jamming out there and he starts generating music notes much faster. But, of course, you're mobile and, you know, you can get hit. There is a lot of different kinds of units in this game that you can use. Right now, I have black mages, which are kind of like these AoE attackers. I have the wizard dude who shoots a lightning bolt and kind of has like a knockback effect, which is what that is right there you just saw. And then finally, I have one necromancer who I'm actually going to go ahead and summon some more here. Let's go ahead and do that. There'll be L. And I usually like to run, you can have up to 7 party members total, and that's after upgrading. You start off, I think, only 3 though. And you have to spend gold to upgrade your maximum party, which we'll get to the upgrades here in a little bit. I'm going to go ahead and summon, let's go with one more black mage. So 3 black mages, 2 wizards, and 2 necromancers. What the necromancers do actually is very interesting. They have kind of like this dot effect. And if you die under the effects of that dot, it raises a skeletal minion, which is what's at the front of Brad right there. And I can actually run those into enemies and kill them with it. They kind of like corpse explode and wipe out the enemies. There's a lot. What I love about this game, guys, there's a lot of different tactics involved, actually. The different parties can create different abilities and different ways to take out the enemy. You can see I just kind of corpse exploded on top of one of them, taking one of them out. Let's go ahead and, like I said, basically all you have to do is just try to keep the lanes clear. Now, I've been playing this game for about, I would say, a good solid 6 or 7 hours. Which is why, for one thing, I love this game. This game is a lot of fun. But I also have a lot of the upgrades. You're not going to start out with a lot of the stuff, guys. And I don't want you to get the impression that this game is easy in any way. Matter of fact, it's freaking difficult. Once you start getting a lot of the upgrades, though, the first at least 5 waves become somewhat of a snooze. I'm doing them just to give you kind of an idea of what the action and the combat looks like. But trust me when I say the game is not easy. It starts throwing just dozens and dozens of enemies at you from these lanes. They just start pouring out, and you have to kind of balance them. And they start releasing these things called, oh, they're not bosses, but kind of like mini bosses, which is what that yellow exclamation point is. That's kind of like a mini boss. And they are tougher and hardier than the normal troops, even though I just kind of blew them to pieces. But again, that's because I've been playing this for a long time. And it's just what I'm trying to say is the game is not in any way easy. Don't get the wrong impression from my my Let's Play video. The game is really fun, really challenging. I've just been playing for a long ass time here. Your troops can level, by the way, which is what those gold bars are above my current men. They're all maximum level because I've spent a buttload of gold on their particular class. There's one of the bosses, by the way. And you're going to see him die a horrible death here as I use a damage buff, and he just exploded because I rammed all of my zombies basically into him. And he basically shoots a shitload of gold out into the field, and that's kind of all she wrote for that guy. So that's the first 5 waves. Now it's officially noon, and that's how it's kind of broken up. It's broken up into the sections of the day. I haven't beaten the game completely, actually. I've gotten just about to I think the 17th wave, and I died. Because they just overwhelmed me, basically. But I'm still upgrading things like Brad and my units and upgrading the town. The town has several upgrades. Let me just go ahead and show you that stuff here. Like I said, the town has upgrades. You can upgrade actually the shops, and they'll start producing items for you. Like this guy, he produces bacon, which will heal your troops. This guy produces items which you can actually get for gold. And these towers over here, which have troops on top of them, are actually kind of like the schools of your troops, which kind of train your troops. And they will, if you maximize them, you actually get a defender on top of the tower. So again, I've been playing the game for 6 or 7 hours here, guys. So that's why I have the defenders on top of the towers. I'm actually going to go ahead and we'll show you the second boss, and then we'll call it here. I'm going to go ahead and jam out here so I can start wiping out troops pretty quickly. Boom, boom, they're dead. Okay, so we call up to the waves now. And then once we beat the next wave of the boss, I will show you the kind of the upgrading and how all that works. Plus, there's two different game modes here in this game. There's a lot of stuff here being added too. Let's talk about the graphics. I love the graphics. Graphics are stylized, of course, very cute. I enjoy them quite a bit. They're simplistic, but you know, I like them a lot. They work very well for the game. And obviously, they probably needed to make it semi, I guess, acceptable for the iOS and Android platforms. The game doesn't feel, though, it doesn't have that. Certain games have that Android app feel to them, and this game doesn't have that. I will say that this game does feel like a solid game. It does feel like it can be for the Android and the iOS, but it doesn't overtly feel like that. If you've played some indie games, you know what I'm talking about. There's just some games that don't even do a good job of hiding it. This game does a really good job of hiding it. The game also does feature controller support, by the way, but it's a little bit tricky to get the controller support to working. I couldn't manage it. If you have an Xbox controller, you should be okay. I have a Logitech controller, and I tried to finagle it with a program which I use sometimes for my Let's Plays, and I couldn't get it to work. You might have better luck than I do, but just keep that in mind if you are really big on controller support. But you probably do own an Xbox controller that you could probably play with this, and you'll be fine with that. Which wave are we on officially now here? Music-wise, it's one of the cooler parts about this game. I love the music in this game. I love the way Brad jams out. I really enjoy that aspect of it. It kind of has that heavy metal feel, but it's really, really awesome is what I'm trying to say. The soundtrack kicks a lot of ass. And I never really get bored of listening to it. I've been playing this game for about, like I said, 6 hours, and I've never got really tired of listening to the soundtrack. I'm going to jam out here and stun the enemy. So that way I can get a little bit of a jump on these guys. Hopefully kill some of them, because those are 2 mini bosses back to back. And it could be a situation I don't want to get involved in. Looks like we have 2 more waves, and then the boss. And then we'll go ahead and jump into the stores and the different game modes, and you can see what those are like. These guys are like the little bombers. And this is why this is why I have the knockback guys, because if these guys were to hit my crystal, they'd do a devastating amount of damage. And I don't want them to, so I try to keep them as far away from the crystal as possible. And this is after a lot of hours of experimentation. There's different kinds of units. There's fighter units. There's also units that are kind of like shout-outs to other indie games, which is really sweet. There's Isaac, Octodad, and this other guy who's a turtle, who I'm not 100% sure which indie game he's from, and it's going to drive me nuts. And I'll find out. I'll probably even put up a little thing right here to tell you where he's from, but I'll find out a little bit later on. So yeah, you have the controller support. There's a lot of things still being added to this game. Also, there's still being upgrades. There's all that Steamy goodness. You have the Steam trading cards, all that good Steam stuff. I know some people really love that kind of stuff. I'm not huge into it, but you know, it's there for you to play with and have if it's important to you. But like I said, they're still upgrading this game. They're going to add some sort of a Steam Workshop compatibility to this game. I'm not exactly sure what exactly that'll tell. Maybe you can make your own boards. I'm not really 100% sure exactly what's coming from that field. They're also going to have some sort of a sandbox mode. Again, I'm going to think that's probably something to the effect of you creating your own boards. And they're also going to add local co-op, which I think is going to be really exciting, really neat, is the idea of playing this with somebody else. I don't know how exactly it's going to work, but it should be. I think it'll be very, very neat. And those are updates that are coming in the future. So let's go ahead and kill these guys here. Like I said, some of the upgrades you could buy, which I would suggest if you're playing this game, you're planning on getting this game, is get the town drunk, which he is that guy that's wandering around right there, the guy with the beer in his hand, who's kind of vomiting on the floor. And what he does is if the enemy walks over that vomit, they get slowed down, they get debuffed, and it gives you a little bit more breathing room, I guess you could say, to take out the enemy. And, oh, of course, the ferret thing, the little squirrel thing, I don't know what the hell, a raccoon? I'm not exactly 100% sure what it is. That thing is so infinitely valuable and useful, it's insane. Basically, he goes around collecting treasure for you, or loot. Whether that be gold or town purchases, not town purchases, I should say, town, things that the town produces, as it were. As you can see what I'm talking about right here, this is where the troops just start pouring out in massive droves. And you start kind of playing this catch-up game. Oh, die. Okay, good. So we caught up there. Oh, he took out all my zombies, that prick. I do not like him. But yeah, that's some of the upgrades I purchased right away. And those were really, really helpful to me in getting higher up. And you know, guys, like I said, you will probably eventually get all the upgrades. But I think that's kind of where the beauty of the games kind of starts and the challenge of it all. I got my ass kicked just now. I got a big blast to the face. There's a guy over there. Hey! Hey! What do you think you're doing? Alright, we're on the second boss now. And it's pretty much what we're going to call it. I'm glad we made it here instead of me dying like a doofus. Gonna get a little quick damage upgrade here. He's kind of like a fire boss. I'm going to just ram my bomb units into him, which is going to take him out. Which is why I'm a huge fan of the Necromancer. The Necromancer is so... I don't want to say OP, but she is badass, guys. So you get the idea of what this... There's 4 bosses in this game. There's lots of waves. I'm going to go ahead and quit this right here so that way I can bring you to the upgrade screens and show you all that good stuff, plus the extra game modes. Like I said, there's a lot of different kinds of troops, lots of different tactics to use. There's a brawler, an archer, a healer, ninja, tank, shaman, engineer. There's even 2 I haven't even unlocked yet. I can't even tell you what all the troops are because I haven't unlocked them all. And you know what? That's another thing. They're adding more. They're adding more unit types, more waves, more bosses. There's gonna be more stuff coming to this game, which is why I'm really a huge fan of this game, and it's why it's Indie Game of the Week. And of course, they have Isaac and Meat Boy and Octodad, and that's just really awesome. You can include them in your game. You have to kind of unlock them. Like for instance, you have to go in survival mode to get Isaac and Meat Boy here. You have to, I guess, to the second boss to get Octodad, and I haven't even gotten this guy, because I think he's in this other game mode, which is called like I think it's like survival or something like that. Well, you'll see in a couple seconds here. Of course, you can upgrade Brad himself, which I have of course done. Give him more hit points, make him faster, give him a little body spray, which is basically kind of brings in your troop into a tighter cluster so you can avoid shots a little bit more easy. And just give him a whole bunch of myriad of upgrades, including the town, which as you can see, I've pretty much purchased everything in this place. Because the town upgrades, while they are subtle, they're very, very helpful. So we're going to hit play here, and like I said, there is 2 different other challenge modes that of course come with their own leaderboards. One of them is like a survival mode, which I'll just go ahead and really quickly hop in here and show you what that's like. It's very different. You are still generating nodes, but when you find your troops kind of just strewn about the field, and that's how you kind of collect them, and you have to kind of find them and collect more and more while trying to survive the onslaught of troops that keep coming your way. So this mode is very interesting. It does start generating bosses. It looks like every I don't really not 100% sure. I think it's like every 2 minutes or so, but bosses start appearing, as well as bigger, tougher units start appearing. Got 2 archers here. We'll only do this for a little while because I also want to show you the other game mode. I hate those skeletal guys. I hate them so freaking much. They're so annoying. You can collect gold here again, once again, giving you access to more upgrades. Which will allow you to upgrade these guys. You can survive a little bit longer and go as long as you can. And maybe get on the top of the leaderboards. You never know. Could happen. I doubt I'll make it to the top of the leaderboards right now. I did a black mage though, which is kind of one of my primary troops. And I don't see any more bad guys. But I can see how they're going to add like a sandbox mode. They're probably going to let you maybe make your own sandbox boards, your own escape boards. You'll see what I'm talking about though. We'll kill the first boss, maybe, hopefully. And collect bacon! No, one of my troops are hurt, so we're not going to collect the bacon. That's just silly. Oh, these eyeball guys are really freaking annoying. The first boss has shown up here. And it is the giant. Oh god, we lost an archer. Not good. We're going to go ahead and use one of our buffs, and then the stunner. The stunner! Kill him. Kill him. Kill him. Kill him. Oh, the archer's dead. Alright, we definitely need some backup here, guys. We got another black mage, which is... Oh, shit! Okay. Maybe we'll just die. That'll work too, huh? We'll go grab that bacon as we kind of swerve and dance around these guys. And then we'll go ahead and activate a speed buff to get away from them. And hopefully it generates a troop here so we can defeat the first boss at least. That'd be nice. No? Maybe? You're not going to give it to me, are you? Oh, that's okay. Maybe, oh, wait, we got 1 troop. Maybe we can... maybe just after all... survive this. Maybe not, though. Please keep firing, crazy mage. Oh my god. Yeah, that's it, guys. I'm just going to bite it here so I can show you the other game mode. Survival mode is definitely a very big challenge for sure. We're going to go ahead and quit. So yeah, you have those 2 modes. You have a survival mode and an escape mode, which is kind of like where you're just running right and just trying to escape this wall of shadows. And it just gives you more and more things to play with, and I really enjoy that about this game. It's not just straight up just the same, you know, fight this many ways. There's different game modes to play with here, and I enjoy that quite a bit. But yeah, sure, this one's rather simplistic, but hey, it's challenging. Let's see how far we can get here. Like I said, the turtle dude is somewhere in here. And we have like no health, which is why Brad looks like he got his ass kicked. So if we get shot once, we're dead. If we fall into one of the acid pits, we're dead. If we get hit by the wall of shadows, we're dead. But let's see, we just crossed where I originally was. Oh my god. Okay, we made that. That was luck. We want to be very careful. You don't want to stay towards the front too long. But we're actually doing pretty damn good here. Oh god! Oh, we got hit. Oh well. Like I said, I think the last indie unit, the indie crossover unit, is somewhere in there, guys. So yeah, guys, with cute graphics, I love this, the gameplay, I love the sounds. There's a lot of different game modes. There's 12 classes, upgrades. Very difficult game. There's Easter eggs. It's a great game, guys. What I love about Barbarians in games like this, like for instance, like Hero Siege, is their addictiveness, and the fun never gets old. You always want to get a little bit better, go a little bit farther. Play around with different combinations of different strategies, different troops. Yes, you will unlock everything in this game eventually. You'll get all the upgrades, and it will become slightly a little bit easier to play. But I think that's kind of where the game starts, and you can see how far you can go. I haven't ran into many bugs, to be honest with you. I've heard there's some floating around the forums, so you might want to be careful for those. I haven't run into any at all, really. So, like I said, guys, the game is fun. It's well made. I recommend it quite a bit. You should get it. Big thanks to the developer for a chance to rock out on this game. Big thanks to you for watching. Remember to be a kick-ass subscriber. I hope you enjoyed this video, and we will see you next time. This has been the Indie Game of the Week, Bardbarian.